Hello, my name is Lauren Edwards, a current sophomore on summer vacation, and I'm here bringing you my summer series, A Deep Dive into Architecture. In this series, I plan to bring out the most unspoken and unheard about parts of architecture in our world from past to present, but today, our topic is the Kowloon Walled City. Accurately named the City of Darkness, the Kowloon Walled City was found in China within the boundaries of Kowloon City, British Hong Kong. At its peak, Kowloon had an astonishing population of 50,000 people living inside the city. A little history. The city began during the Song Dynasty, which was from 960 to 1297, when a small fort was constructed to house soldiers who helped safeguard the salt trade. Then, later, in the 19th century, the defense transformed into a town due to the overarching fear of British invasion. In 1898, the 99-year lease of Kowloon in the new territories was established with one exception. It was a 2.7-head-acre walled fortress called Kowloon. And this lease was the reason why. On June 9, 1898, Queen Victoria, who had ruled over Britain, orchestrated the 99-year lease agreement for the use of Hong Kong. Since China, not being the outstanding fighters that they thought they were, they lost a series of wars, which were fought over the trade in tea and opium, and this caused the 99-year lease to be set in place. Kowloon, the city neither China nor Britain wanted, was left alone to raise itself. The city self-governed by itself for about 40 years until its fall in 1987, when the government finally got involved in the horrific place that it had become. Still, it wasn't until the 23rd of March in 1993 that the government finally started on its demolition of the city, until its conclusion in April of 1994. Construction began the following month to make the dejected, self-ruled building into a park. Then, on June 24th, 1970, the area that once held this desolate building is now unrecognizable today, and in its place is a contrasting park that's beauty is open for visitors to see. This unwanted city, though, became its own autonomous community. The city succeeded in the most appalling way, being mainly known for gang violence, gambling, prostitution, and drug dealing that happened and lurked in its halls. Though that's not what made the city succeed mainly. Chinese shopkeepers, faith healers, and self-taught dentists also had businesses that thrived in Kowloon. However, due to the pure density of people that the city held, sickness and disease were also extremely common for residents, especially since sanitation didn't exist because of the lack of government intervention. At its extreme, Kowloon had a population density of around 3,300,000 people per square mile. Although what's more impressive is the building itself. The standing city was packed to the brim with apartments, hallways, shops, churches, and many other space takers. One must ask, how did it all fit? The city was a 6.4-acre plot of land, which seems impossible for the sheer amount of people and businesses and buildings all living within just this tight space. Until the total height is brought into the picture. The entire building was built up to a staggering 14 stories high, only stopping there due to safety concerns from planes overhead. The structural integrity of the building was a very simple mix, actually. Steel reinforced concrete, molded with wood and iron sheets, was what held up the building, making it virtually indestructible. The main forms of transportation around the building were dimly lit hallways, with leaky pipes and piles of trash being the normal. There was even only 2 elevators within the entire building. In fact, it was common for residents of the building to carry around umbrellas inside due to how much fluid leaked down from the ceiling and pipes. And this fluid usually contained water, human feces, and a lot of other gross stuff. Living in this city, though, didn't mean the equivalent of living under a rock, as many may think. A single mailman roamed the many halls daily, delivering newspapers and letters and packages to the multiple households there. However, as the building got higher and higher, as more and more residents arrived, less and less hallways were made. This meant that free climbing up the side of the building, and many of the households there, was very common for who many referred to as Mere Lou, the mailman. However, due to the copious amounts of residents that lived in the building, the mail was limited to a section of Kowloon. Still, though, there was an astonishing amount of addresses contained within that small area. There were 350 buildings, the majority of which were between 10 and 14 stories high, housing 850 businesses, 10,700 households, and more than 33,000 people. Many families with children lived there, but with the average house size being around 40 square feet, When children got bored or antsy, there wasn't enough space for them to play around inside their houses. So the best place for them to meet up and play was on the roof. They could play games with other kids, relax, and get some sunshine in. Although the city's roof was littered in TV antennas and piles of thrown out garbage, kids still preferred to spend their days after school hanging out where they could stretch their legs and move, as opposed to inside the cramped schools and houses within the building. This solid brick of a city, though, relates to the community that shared it. The community was very tight-knitted, with people from all over and with different backgrounds. However, as said before, the demolition of this city took years due to the building's tight and vast nature. All that remains today is a park in memory of the self-governed community and home to many, known as the Kowloon walled city.
Why is it so hard? I don't know. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Will the real walled city please stand up? I repeat, will the real walled city please stand up? We're gonna have a problem here. Y'all act like you never seen the city before, jaws on the floor like it isn't all full of lore, and wanted to demolish us right after the war. We first were at the fort guarding the salt trade. Ah! It's a return of the oh wait, no way, you're kidding. He didn't just say what I think he did he? And Kowloon said, nothing you idiots, Kowloon's dead. Turn into a park instead. Ha ha! Government soldiers love Kowloon. Chicka, 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 walled city. I'm sick of it. Look at me standing here holding up all these dudes, keeping up you know who. Yeah, but he's so big though. Yeah, I probably can't put the city to any use. But no worse than what's going on in the city's bedroom. Sometimes I feel like I'm being obtuse, but I can't because I cannot let these screws get loose. The outcome is in the script. Outcome is in the script, and if it's lucky, it won't become a myth. And that's the roof. Open the little kids and expect them to get sun, which the building forbids. Of course they're gonna know what the source is. By the time they head north, they want out of the dark lit cities, don't they? It ain't nothing but channels. Well, some of the hallways that get people up in their hopes, but this old dump can help the folks teach the ropes, and there's no reason that the government should say no. But if you feel like I feel, I got the antidote. Kowloon, look how you arose. Sing the chorus and it goes. Yes, I'm the real city. All the other walled cities are just imitating. So won't the real walled city please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. I'm walled city. Yes, I'm the real city. All you other walled cities are just imitating. So won't the real walled city please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Ha ha!